I know, absolutely. That's usually an indicator of, how the party may do in the midterm elections and stuff after the president is. Remember, there's only been two occasions in the last 40 years where the party that controlled the White House won seats in these midterm elections, and that was one of them was right after 9/11, and the other one was right after the Bill Clinton Monica Lewinsky scandal when they felt that there was too much of a political witch hunt, if you will, against Clinton at the time. So you're seeing those are these two moments. So they are running into historic headwinds, of course. But I do say, in speaking with senior White House officials, they have told me that I can almost guarantee, I will absolutely put money on this, that he's going to tout his one big beautiful act. It's going to be something he's going to say, like, hey, that big act I passed last year, like, it's going to hit your wallets in the next couple months with you when you get your tax refunds, when you get all. So that is something that they are banking on, excuse the pun, but they are on, like, changing voters' minds on what issue is bigger than immigration or anything else for American voters: affordability, the economy. So they believe these tax refunds, taxes on tip, and that's something that's, by the way, that we confirmed. Our great reporters at CBS News, Olivia Rinaldi and Jennifer Jacobs, confirmed that there was a big meeting on Capitol Hill a couple of days ago with cabinet members and senior officials from Trump's political operation, focusing on the messaging on the midterms. And what was the focus on, as you both know and reported, is it was on affordability and what this big piece of legislation, this massive legislation, will do for for middle American folks. And so they're really banking on that. And I think a lot of Republicans argue that they could really have an effect. Will it be enough to completely change the tide? We'll see.
The last few months at the White House, it's been really fascinating because everything that Finn just said has been kind of played out just in Trump's own comments. I mean, usually when he calls us into the Oval Office, for example, he does speak about the economy almost right off the bat, if not immigration or both. But I think recently we've kind of seen him acknowledge that the midterms don't necessarily go well for the incumbent party, and he always says, like, I no one's been able to explain to me why this has happened. The economy is great, but this is kind of the way it is. And I think I'd be really curious to hear if there's any sort of that acknowledgement of historical precedent about midterms in the State of the Union.
Yeah, definitely. And this is a president, obviously, who is famous for going off script. So I wonder also, I'm going to be watching very closely on how much of that messaging he goes off script, because when he says, I don't understand why our poll numbers are not where they should be because the economy is doing great, you almost wonder if you can hear some of his advisors cringing in the background, because this is, as we've discussed many times, the same issue that Joe Biden dealt with, that, on a macroeconomic level, there were good numbers, and yet people were furious about the state. I mean, just going out to talk to voters, furious about the state of the economy, and most importantly, inflation. Now, we have to say there have been some good economic numbers for this Trump administration, with unemployment ticking down slightly, inflation not rising at the level that many economists had predicted despite tariffs. But, certainly for the State of the Union, I think President Trump is absolutely going to hammer home his tariffs agenda. He had that op-ed in the Wall Street Journal, didn't he, where he talked about how tariffs have been the hallmark of success for his administration. He's talked about the billions of dollars that his administration has brought in because of tariffs. And, indeed, we saw his top economic advisor, Kevin Hassett, speak on CNBC and really push back on a report from the New York Federal Reserve that found that 90% of the burden of tariffs actually fall on American consumers and companies. And he went on to say that the authors of that report should be disciplined because it's fundamentally wrong. I mean, the Trump administration, despite some of the pushback they've gotten on tariffs from some of their constituencies, Republicans' constituencies, has continued to say that the tariffs have been a massive benefit. And part of the reason for that is because that inflation number has not moved the way economists have said.
Yeah, I mean, but I did, like, you